and welcome back to Lemon Tree Corner. This week in the studio we are taking a box full of fabric scraps and turning them into bags. So we're going to do a batch sew with the Maya Wristlet pattern. So the Maya Wristlet pattern, which I gave in a minus, it's a cute little wristlet with a pocket in the front that you can put your cell phone in, and it's got some card slots built into it. It's just a really fun pattern that is a lower priced item as I gear up for craft fair season. I want to have some lower priced items that are easier to move in a craft fair setting. So that's what we're going to be working on this week. So we're going to be taking scraps from other projects, like this is the Finch hobo we just made a couple weeks ago. So I'm going to take you through the planning process of matching up the scraps with the zipper, with the hardware we need, and making sure we have all the supplies we need before we get started. I did kind of spring this one on myself. Normally I would give myself a couple of weeks to have any hardware that I need come in, but we can get started on the process now, see if I need to order any hardware in addition to the zippers that I need to order for those piggy coin purses that we're going to be making. So I'll make one big order, and then we can still cut out the fabric for this, cut the zippers while we wait for the hardware to come in. And I don't know if I need any hardware yet. I might have enough. So let's check it out and see what we need. So I have 12 in all to make, and they're obviously not all going to get done this week, but we can start the process of batch cutting out all the fabric and preparing everything for sewing, and then that way I can work on them little by little at night after work. And I would just like to ask you to send prayers or healing vibes or whatever it is that you do to the people of Maui and the Hawaiian Islands. As many of you know, we thoroughly enjoy taking vacations in the islands. It's a beautiful place, beautiful culture, and just got devastated a few weeks ago, and it was just tragic to see like the wonderful places we visited just burnt to the ground, and a lot of people just left with the clothes on their backs, jumped into the ocean, whatever they had to do to survive. So if you haven't already, I would love it if you would make a donation. You can donate to the Red Cross. Several people have started GoFundMe pages for their families, and just any reputable source out there that's going to be providing food or shelter or supplies so that these people can rebuild their lives. It's huge. I can't even imagine not even having time to grab anything out of your house, not even having the ability to get in your car and drive away, that you just have to run on foot. So very scary situation, and I'm sure a lot of time it's going to take to rebuild that whole community and the schools and everything. So if you can send your love and thoughts and healing prayers out to that community, I would greatly appreciate it. And in the meantime, we soldier on and continue on with our lives and make ourselves useful. So that's all we can really do. So go ahead and grab a drink, get comfortable, and let's start making these purses. So we are working on our Maya Wristlets. So the first thing I need to do is go through all the fabric I have picked out for this, which is a big giant box plus some of the remnants from the ones we just made. So we've got quite a few to do here. And this is part of that planning process I talk about a lot. So we have to figure out what zippers we're going to use for each of these, and if the zipper has like a metallic coil, then we have to match up our hardware. So we've got that one left over. I've already made a Maya Wristlet out of this for my YouTuber, which I totally forgot to send it to her. So we're going to have to package that up and send it to her. And then we've got the bag we just made, the Finch hobo. We've got that, was this the ... dash bag? You'll just recognize all of these fabrics as we're going here. have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 is a nice number. We'll go ahead and do 12 of those. So you got that, and I've got a bunch of fabric already set aside for the zippy bags. So let's put all of this back. Put all these bigger pieces back for the zippy bag. The zippy bag doesn't take like a lot of fabric. They're pretty small pieces. I think you can do them with a fat quarter. But yeah, this is the other project that I can do with those. So let me put those back in the box. We'll put the box back on the shelf, and we'll make those sometime in the future. Hey friends, here we are at my old haunt, Manhattan Beach. So we're gonna walk down to the water. It's a beautiful day and sunset is almost here. So hoping to share that with you. Just kind of visiting, dropping Greg's mom off at home and gonna have dinner on a Friday night. These houses are all very, very expensive. How much do you think they were back in the day? Like 1950s?
The 50s, I'm sure they were probably worth like 50 grand.
Yeah, 50 grand back in the 50s, and now they're all well over $1 million, probably $2 million.
No, these are more like 5.
5 million? Even the ones that aren't on the strand, just because they can see the water from their balcony.
Yep.
Look at this house. That's crazy. Yeah, most of these houses are just crammed in wall to wall to take advantage of the small lot space. So you have the original houses like this one that are older, and then when anybody sells, they usually put up one of these huge new modern houses. Well, that's a pretty garden. It's a very Mediterranean balcony there. Wow. It's a very pretty garden. Anyway, very jealous. So there's all these walkways. Some of them are streets and some of them are just walkways down to the beach. Oh wow, you got a mural on that one. And a cool window up top. Yeah, so they're usually like 3 stories tall to take advantage again, since the original lot sizes were teeny. Here's one of the original ones. It's only a single story. And then you've got like an alley in the back with your garage. And then you have the very fancy houses that are actually on the Strand that are going for 7, 8 million, 15 million. Jeez. So these, you have an alleyway here that you have your driveway or your garage, and then they're all huge houses like this. So all different architecture to fit any style. Got some big giant Spanish style haciendas, and then ones like this that are more modern. But then you got everybody walking past your house all day, so. But you have this amazing view. And I'm probably gonna have to stop talking now because of the wind. Look at the agave, those are huge. Still got a tanker out there. This is what I remember from my childhood, is all of the pylons, and they top them with creosote to keep them from rotting. So you always had that creosote smell, always reminded me of the beach when I was growing up. So every time I come back, smell that smell. It smells like my childhood. And that's our pier with a little roundhouse on the end. They have a little free aquarium in there. Could have walked down the pier. So the sun is just about to set. And then if you take this bike path far enough north, you get to Venice Beach. But first you have to go around the Santa Monica Harbor and the airport. Well, you don't have to go around the airport. You're actually west of the airport. Yeah, there you can see one of the original houses in between all the really tall houses. So everyone's got like 3 balconies to take advantage of the sunset and the beach views. And a lot of them have like this first level blocked off so that they don't have to deal with people walking past their private space. But some people have like their whole living room with louvered doors that open up, and everybody can see what they're eating for breakfast, what's on their TV. It's just kind of weird. Okay, so the most confusing thing about this pattern is that there's really only one place for the accent fabric to go, and then you don't have any more. So what we tend to do is put the pretty fabric on the inside to use as the lining. So that kind of gives us the whole thing there. So that means that when this says one of exterior and one of lining, I'm really cutting 2 out of the lining because we want that front pocket to be out of this fabric. So most of our fabric for the outside is going to be out of the lining, what we would traditionally use as the lining, and the interior is going to mostly be out of what we would traditionally use as the exterior. So it's just kind of hard because, you know, I'm saying exterior, but really we're flipping it here. This is the inside. So this has now become the exterior fabric. And I don't know that I can get both of the main pieces out of this. I can. Very cool. So I mean, everything is basically a rectangle. So you could just cut them to the sizes that she specifies and call it a day. Now I'm pretty much not going to, I'm not really gonna hold anything, I'm not gonna pin anything down here. I'm just gonna use this as a guide, line it up and cut. So the only problem with that is accidentally cutting off little pieces of the pattern piece each time and keeping it lined up. So now we have a directional fabric here, so we're gonna have to think about that the rest of the way through, that it needs to go this direction. And there are some pieces that aren't directional. I mean, that are the opposite direction. So let's see if we can find the back piece. So like for the back of the bag, these two pieces are vertical and these two are horizontal. So it's just something to keep in mind when you're cutting your fabric, that it's a little bit tricky. Okay, folks, we have our fabric all cut out. Okay, so I'm going to start cutting out all the SF101 pieces. I'm probably going to need to order some more. I'm down to my last bolt. And since we're doing all this batch stuff, I'm definitely going to need some more. So prepping for that. And yeah, I think that's it. Just enjoying one of the last 3-day weekends before we go back to our regular work schedule. You know me, I don't like the 10-hour days. I'm glad that I have enough vacation time that I can not have to work the 10-hour days and still get my Fridays off. But yeah, it's been something. And once again, I did not get my passport. Every time I tell myself, I'm gonna get my passport, but I don't. Okay, so I need to cut out a lot of pieces. So for these, I'm gonna need like 24 of these zipper tabs in the SF101, 12 wristlets, and I don't know that I need to do the D-rings. I probably should, just to give them more stability because we're not folding them into fourths. So I'm just gonna put little tick marks next to here as I cut those out. Cut all the big pieces out. It looks like, you know, most of my pieces, this is 11 by 6.5, this is 6.5. So I'm pretty much safe if I do 6.5 for most of my pieces. This is a little shorter, but that's fine. That's 6.5. How is that 6.5 when it's less than that? I don't know. Which one's really 6.5? Let's see. That's 6. Have I been cutting that out wrong this whole time? That's not good. And then these ones are 7, so they're a little bit strange. But that's 6.5. So, I mean, I could cut out 7-inch strips of the SF-101 just to make my life a little easier. So we might do that. Let's solve this mystery though, because now I'm worried about that one piece. It is supposed to be 6.5 by 8. Well then, my lining is just always a little short. Wow. Okay, I'm going to recut this piece because this is supposed to be 8 by 6.5 and it's only 8 by 6. I don't remember that being wrong last time I cut out the pieces. No. Hey friends, so I wanted to give you an update on the plate situation. So if you've been here for a while, you know that last Vlogmas, I got a very generous gift from my school. We were able to buy new plate sets with the money. I've been thinking about plate sets for quite a while. I don't have enough plates to host for like Thanksgiving or Christmas, so it's always been a thing where it's a jumble of different plate styles, and I really just wanted a plate set that I could love and bring out for special occasions, family dinners. So we found one to order. Only I also wanted an everyday plate set to replace the one I've had for like 25 years now. So we went ahead and ordered the same plates in a different color for our everyday set. And they're really dark blue. They don't really make me happy. And since the plates were virtually free for me, I decided to go ahead and order new plates for our everyday plates. So we have these now. They're very beautiful speckled yellow. Then you'll see it's got a honeycomb pattern. There's a bee every once in a while also. I don't know if you can see the bee. Where's the bee? There's the bee. I think you can see him. So I don't know. They make me happy. They're very cheerful and pretty, and so they're our everyday set. We're gonna donate the plates to my brother-in-law, the dark blue plates, so that he's got plates at his house, because we usually do like a Christmas or a special occasion down at his house as well. So it would be nice to have like a nice plate set down there as well. But the fancy plates that we bought for our holiday plates are like a very beautiful cream color and then like a really light robin egg blue. So I love those two colors together. I just didn't like the darker blue. So these have brought me joy. We've had these for about a month now, and every time I take them out of the cabinet, I just smile. So I know I made the right decision. Have you ever done something like that? Like spent money on something and then figured out that you didn't really like it and you went ahead and made the decision to replace it? Pop it down in the comments below. I'm very curious if I'm the only one who does something like this. So I took the opportunity to recut all of the paper pieces out of my scrapbook cardstock that I don't use very often. So we're gonna do all of these pieces except for the Decoville. So SF-101 pretty much on everything except this. This is the Decoville piece, so we don't need that. But we pretty much need to cut SF-101 out of all of these pieces. And we also need our D-ring and our wristlet. I forgot the zipper tabs don't need any. They don't need any SF-101. So for some of these, I'm going to have to cut out 12 pieces. And for some of them, I'm gonna have to cut out 24. So I think what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna like stack them all here. Several of these pieces look very similar. So I'm not sure if I should just do what I usually do and take my leftover real estate blocks and use those or not, but we're basically going to spend every night this week cutting these out, and I'm sure we're still going to be cutting by the end of the video. So this is going to bleed into next week, and then I placed the order for the zippers for the piggy banks. So when we get those in, I'll share those with you. I just had a great idea. So I have all my leftover pieces that I just replaced with this, so duh, I can use these as my placeholders so I know what's what. Okay, so now I have something I can put on top of my pieces so that I know which pieces are which. Well, that's great. Okay, so basically I'm just gonna take my piece here. We're just gonna start with the largest piece, which is the main body piece. I'm gonna lay that out. And then, you know, you just kind of puzzle piece it together here. So after I cut this out, I can basically fit 2 of these on each piece. So the question is, can I fit anything else that's gonna save more time? Can I fit 2 of these? Let's see. Because I want to use the supplies as well as possible. So kind of want to make sure I can get enough. Ooh, that uses almost all of the piece. So that's good. So let's use these 2 pieces together. The SF101 doesn't have to be exact. So we're going to be a little bit faster and looser with this one. So I've got these 2 pieces. We're going to put together inside lining. There we go. So I'm just going to continue cutting those 2 pieces, or those 2 pattern pieces, out of each of my pieces until I get to the right number. So I need 24 of these. I need 24 of the other ones too. Okay, with 2 down, 22 to go. Well, friends, that's it for this week. I wish I had a finished product to show you, but I don't. So let's take a look at our progress so far on these 12 Maya Wristlets. So we've got all the fabric cut out, we've got the zippers ready to go, and I've got half the interfacing pieces cut out. So still working on the rest. I really like that idea of taking the old pattern pieces that I was just going to throw away and using them to label the interfacing, because all these little pieces are very similar and I want to make sure I'm putting the right piece on the right piece. So I thought that was quite brilliant of me. And if you're ever wondering what these are called design boards, mostly used by quilters, but I use them for my bag making all the time. So you can make these with foam board, some batting, and some and just glue some fabric around the edges, or you can go to Fat Quarter Shop, not sponsored, and buy them. These are Lori Holt design boards. So this is a 14 by 14. She's got an 8-inch, 12-inch, like your typical quilt block sizes. And it's, I mean, you could easily make this yourself, but I love all her designy stuff. So I have a bunch of these that I use for things like this. And as you can see, I've got one for the fabric, one for the interfacing, and now I'm going to have another one for the interfacing. So So quite a good setup there. And the other thing I've been up to is that rainbow scarf. So let's take a look at that. So we've got our rainbow scarf. Just trying to get the color, how I want the colors to go. I kind of started with these 4 or 5, and then I don't have an orange, so I'm gonna give the red a break. I've still got half the red left, but I'm gonna do that on the other side. So yeah, just, I don't know. I'm not thrilled about the way the colors are combining, but we'll see what it looks like in the end. I think it would be nice just to have a rainbow scarf that I can wear around work and during Pride Month and things like that, just to be supportive. So I would love to have that in my repertoire. And of course I just purchased yarn for that other shawl. And I've got the shawl we haven't finished. So as you can see, I'm a very ooh shiny person, and I get easily distracted, which is why I used to make baby blankets, because they didn't take that long to make. By the time I got bored of the pattern, I was done with the blanket. So this is kind of interesting to be making garments, and then I'm seeing all these granny square sweater patterns out there, so I would love to do that. I have some yarn that's kind of lavender and sagey colors that I wanted to use for something like that, but it's acrylic, so I have to go back and feel it and see if it's something that I would want to wear as a sweater, or if it's going to be too scratchy or not breathable enough. Oh, and then we just saw that Tony from TL Yarn Crafts just launched her own yarn line, which looks very cool. The melange is what she's calling like the mottled colors. They're like half cotton, half wool, and the cotton is not dyed in those colorways. So you have the white cotton mixed in with the dyed wools, and it just gives this very pretty mottled effect. And I'm like, I could make a whole garment out of those. So I'm trying to restrain myself. The yarn I just bought is plenty, and I think, you know, this year is the year of bags. I think next year has to be the year of scraps, or, you know, what is that, stash? The stash busting year or something. I'll come up with a cute name, but I think that's what we're going to focus on next year. I'm technically busting a lot of my stash this year by doing the year of bags, because a lot of that fabric and those bag patterns were purchased years ago. So we're technically stash busting this year too. It just doesn't feel like it. And obviously, I mean, when I have to buy zippers and hardware and stuff, I have to, you know, I have to do that to complete the bags. But everything else is pretty much stash busting at this point, except for my yarn addiction. I did purchase that Advent yarn, and I wish I had taken a screenshot, because now I can't even remember what it was. I know what company it's from. I don't have an email or anything that describes what it was. I'll have to go back in their emails and see if they did an email about, like, hey, here's our Advent yarn theme for the year. So yeah, I don't even remember what that is. It'll just be a surprise when it shows up in November and we get to open it together in Vlogmas. So yeah, I'm gonna skip Vlogtober because we're gonna be on vacation. I'm gonna be gearing up for the craft fairs, and I'm just not gonna have the time to commit to that. But we will do Vlogmas, so stay tuned for that. I'll probably do another tea advent, and we've got that yarn advent coming, and then, you know, just the usual holiday prep and everything. So that will be fun, and I think I'm going to take the week before our normal holiday break off so that I have 2 weeks in a row. That worked out really well last year. There's not really a lot going on. School ends before that week, so it's kind of a dead week on campus anyway. So I think that will work out good for me. And yeah, that's about it for this week. Going back to the beach again, so there'll be another beach clip. Just trying to get in a bunch of beach visits before the school year starts up again. And that's the cuckoo clock. And we have 11 cuckoos to go through. I love my cuckoo clock, but it's kind of funny that it's always in the middle of filming. The cuckoo clock goes off. Cuckoo. 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 There we go. He doesn't sound like he went back into the cuckoo hole. So that's it for that. That's it for this week, folks. We're gonna continue on making these. We got the smaller zippers in, so we can continue on with the piggy banks. I still have to go pick up some ribbon. I'm gonna do that this weekend for the sachets. And I have to find those fragrance beads. I've got like this huge box, like this 5 or 10 pound box of these fragrance beads. So I'll have to find that box and we'll get into that. I have some mason jars. I was thinking I could just fill the mason jar with the beads and put like essential oils on them to scent them. So we'll see how that goes. I love the lavender blossom idea. I don't know, I mean obviously that's more natural than these beads that would be hanging out in the sachets. But I think the beads would hold the scent longer, and that way you get a variety of scents. It's not all lavender. So that's what we'll be up to next week. I hope you come along and come back next week to share that fun with us. And I hope you have a wonderful week ahead. Love you, friends. Bye.
Appalachian sunrise meets my skin. Even with my eyes still closed, I can feel it coming in. Golden, golden, I'll follow